What's going on, guys? This is Miyasin and welcome to OCG Metagame Breakdown number 4 and 5. This time covering 107 top-performing decks from 21 tournaments during the span of a little bit more than a week, and wow, a lot of countries actually. Usually it's always Japan and mainland China, but this time we have Malaysia, Singapore, and South Korea, and Vietnam. What the heck? Vietnam, I mean, yeah, I don't really see Vietnam like ever actually in the OCG reports, and Malaysia, I guess it's close to Indonesia, which is relatively close to Singapore, so I can understand. And then South Korea obviously makes sense. And yeah, no, this time no Taiwan though. Anyways, huge shoutouts to Akira as always. This is going to be freaking fantastic. And before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram. Now let's jump right into it. So what is the #1 best deck of the format? I wonder why. I wonder who. It's obviously Tearlaments. 69. Let's freaking go. 45 are with Ishizu. But to be fair, it's a very small Ishizu lineup, so you're gonna see in like a minute, it's microscopic. And then 20 of them are just running with the Kashtira cards, but not with the Ishizu cards. And finally, 4 are with Ra. Hold on, what the heck is this? Ra Ishizu Tearlaments. Maybe there's something I missed. Is it like a Sphere Mode or Ra's Disciple? I don't understand. Anyways, after that, the second best deck is exactly what I thought. A tier 1 deck and a very good counter to Tearlaments. It is pure Kashtira, so 15 of them are actually pure, and then 2 of them are with Dinomorphia. Now, this deck is a deck that can play Dimension Shifter, so it is kind of like the new Flunderies in a way. That is actually really cool. And then, I don't know if we can really take this seriously, because some of these decks are kind of sussy, but Labyrinth, I mean, it's a cool deck. I really like Labyrinth, but it's not that good, unfortunately. And Splite Gishki, Runic, I mean, Runic is a decent deck, but that's the Runic, it's the Runic deck out without Mystic Mine. Like, it plays Amano Iwato, it doesn't play Majesty's Fiend, it makes no sense, but it makes sense when you think about it. It also plays, like, Card of Demise and some cards that you would never think of. Anyways, Branded Bisted, very cool deck, I'm a big fan. Branded Bisted Despia, what the, is there a difference? No, the Despia is branded. Unless you're referring to... I don't understand. Anyways, Bisted Luna. Bisted Fairy Tale Luna. That's really cool. I almost thought that was like Lunalight for a moment. No, it's not. It's basically just one monster. And even like... So, look. In the OCG, they've always been doing that. Like Fairy Tale Luna with Kaijus. So that you Kaiju your opponent and then you bounce back the Kaiju. And it plays with like Danger Monsters or like There Can Only Be One, Floodgates and stuff like that. In the TCG, what is very similar to that would be Grand Maju. Now, I believe even in the OCG, they're still playing Grand Maju in that deck. So, yeah, it's pretty much like another beatdown deck. Very simple, doesn't really summon from the extra deck. It's a really cute deck that any casual could like pick up anytime and have a lot of fun with. Anyways, after that, we have Evil Twin without the Splite cards, most likely, because they got nerfed to death. Flunderies, wow, big fall from heaven, man. It was so much better before. Can't believe Labyrinth has like more representation than Flunderies, what the hell? Anyways, Lawn Mowing, Tearlaments, Thunder Dragon, Punk Bisted. This is the kind of deck that I could actually imagine like Jesse Cotton playing. Kashtira, Bisted, Buster Blader. Yo, shoutouts to Art of War if you're watching this. Kashtira, Scareclaw. Okay, is there any synergy? Really trying to think. Anyways, Light Sword. Hey, yo, look at my Ishizu Light Sword combo video. It was really nice, man. This deck is very cool, but to be fair, again, they don't really have a lot of Ishizu cards, so I don't know if it's like that good. Anyways, Megalith, Char Brigade, Lyrilusk. Wow, that deck still exists. Okay. Anyways, for the #1 best deck, Tearlaments. Thrower, well, that's actually a name of someone. Okay, went 6-2 and finished top 4 in a tournament with 80 players. And another, like a new cool thing about the format is that people are now catching their opponents off guard with Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. So it's a Link 3 monster that has to be summoned with 3 different monsters, if I recall correctly. And whenever it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can either make it gain another attack for the next turn, or make it gain 1500 attack, or banish any card on the field without targeting. That is really insane, but the really cool thing about BLS is that if you make it using a level 7 monster as a material, level 7 or higher, the BLS link cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So, because of the fact that you have easy access to the Tearlaments Kashtira as well as the Kashtira Fenrir, maybe I should call them Kashtira, because even Kashtira is still not the real pronunciation. Whatever, you get the point. You understand what I'm trying to say. You're gonna have a really problematic monster that is very, very annoying to get rid of. So yeah, this card's really freaking good if you're making it with one of these cards. And then the 2 other cards can be anything, but I will be explaining something very soon. And again, huge shoutouts to this guy. He's such a legend, man. Another reason why this card is really good is because of Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. Yeah, that's not a joke. Anyways, Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, also relatively new in the extra deck. people were not playing that before. They were only playing 4 Xyz monsters. So yeah, Dweller, Baguska, Redoer, and Zeus. Maybe I should avoid saying the word Dweller on YouTube. Anyways, 2 field spells with the 1 Primeval Planet Perlarino. I guess it makes sense that this is only a 2 of and not a 3 of, because there are only like 2 search targets, and this one searches that one, so it becomes too redundant. And then 1 Foolish Burial Goods. There's no reason to like play multiples, because then it can become a little redundant and bricky. And then 1 copy of Triple Tactic Talents. Keldo is at 1 and is the best one, so now you can only play 1. And 2 Mudora. I guess if you draw like Keldo and Mudora, you can summon the Keldo by pitching the Mudora, and then search the second Mudora, which is very irrelevant. It's probably going to change nothing to your life, because you're still going to have the 2 Tearlaments, the 2 Grave Shuffler Ishizu monsters in rotation. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, no more people are playing Kalbeck and Agido. Like, you can forget about it. Nobody's playing them. 2 Screams. Yes, I love Ice Cream. For the fusion monsters, 2 Kaleido Heart is extremely shocking. I look at this and I'm like, there has to be something I'm not seeing, because, bruv, like in the TCG, people are wild, man. They're playing, the extra deck is completely different. It's like, some people are on like 1 of the level 5 Kid Kalos. Obviously, this is always a 1 of Garura, Mudragon, and like some people are playing Borload or IP with Avramax. In the extra deck, the OCG is like completely different from the TCG, even when the card pool is like relatively the same. The only difference here is going to be the Maxi and the Kashtira cards, but I don't think we're gonna be the exact same. Again, because of the fact that we have Garura, not only deck building, but also execution is gonna be drastically different. And for the side deck, 2 Nibiru so that you can catch like rogue decks off guard or something. 3 Reaper for the mirror match. Book of Eclipse because it's really good against the pure Kashtira deck. They make like Shangri-La with everything. You just go like, you know, Book of Eclipse, and then you get all your zones back. And then, you know, the oh my god, the Arise Heart is no longer a Dark Claw, etc. And by the way, sorry, I just realized why the Kaleido Heart is a 2 of. It's because of Diablosis, the Mind Hacker. If, you know, they make you lose a 1 of, you don't want to lose your 1 and only copy of Kaleido Heart. So, sorry, I actually just realized this as soon as I thought about Diablosis. Ah, my god, I can't always think about everything. Anyways, Fairy, wow, actually a World Championship representative in 2018. I don't know if I actually remember him, though. That was a Gookie format and stuff. Yeah, anyways, he finished first in an 81 player tournament with a very interesting deck list. So again, the Tearlaments Kashtira deck, but this time with the Draco Sack and Underworld Goddess so that you can actually out the Arrival Cybers Adignister. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Yaksign, nobody is playing Adignister in the OCG, so why would you care? And you know, that's actually a really good question. Basically, you can summon the Arrival Cybers Adignister in the pure Kashtira deck. Yes, I am not joking. However, you're not gonna have to be really afraid of that in the TCG because it uses a banned card. It is Galaxy Tomahawk. So yeah, don't have to be worried. Yeah, don't have to worry about that. But yeah, the extra deck is actually way different from this one because of Draco Sack. And now Draco Sack, what it can actually do is really interesting. So you can summon 2 tokens, and then with one of the tokens and like you know, the Meru, you can make the Elf, and then you revive back the Meru, and then you make the Sprint, and you send another Meru from your deck to the grave, and then you fuse, you do something, and on your opponent's turn you have the Elf with the Sprint and Draco Sack with a material, so that your opponent goes, I don't know, like try to summon a monster, you go, hold on, a Sprint, bounce back your monster by detaching from the Draco Sack. So the 2 tokens that you're getting is, no, definitely something of value, and the fact that it can't be destroyed by battle by card effect if you have tokens makes it so that you can attack over something with the Draco Sack and then make a Zeus in main phase 2. And again, it's very easy to make the Draco Sack because of the fact that Fenrir can search the Tearlaments Kashtira, and you can summon it by banishing, you know, either like a Tearlaments or a Kashtira card from the hand or the graveyard. So very, very easy to have access to these cards. Now again, another thing that I don't know if I can really grasp is why are people playing Meta Noise? I don't know, and also Imperm is like in everyone's main deck, whereas, I don't know, I feel like in the TCG it would be like so much different. Again, I keep repeating myself, but I really do believe that. And again, in the, In the OCG, one thing that I've realized again was the fact that Osa is pretty much in everyone's deck list, whereas in the TCG, nobody plays this card, and for a very good reason. Osa, when it dies, it can search an insect monster. I spoiled it. It can search an earth monster with 1500 or less defense, so if you can crash the Osa, you can search the Max C, and you can also revive back your opponent's Fenrir, so it's even better in this kind of format. So definitely keep your eye on this card because it will definitely see more play. And the Underworld Goddess is not something that is going to be relevant in the TCG, as I have already said. Now, the Ghost Reaper and Book of Eclipse will definitely be very good. And anything that just allows you to steal your opponent's monsters, like, Mind Control, Triple Tactics, Change of Heart, etc., are also cards that you definitely want to incorporate in your strategy, because they allow you to steal the Arise Heart so that you can, I don't know, link it off and then play from there, or whatever. Anyways, for the pure Kashtira deck, exactly just like I said, number 42 Galaxy Tomahawk allows you to summon 5 tokens, so that you make Link Spider with one of the tokens in the EMZ, and then after that, well, not really, but you rather make like Masquerena, and then you make Link Spider, and then you make Security Dragon, and then finally you use 1 Battle Eagle token, and you make the Arrival Cerberus with 4 materials. It becomes 4,000 attack, and your opponent is going to panic. This card is really freaking annoying to out, so if your opponent doesn't have like the Underworld Goddess, well, there might be a world in which you might just not be able to jump over it, because the monsters in this deck just, I don't know, they don't really have that much attack, ironically. Now, one way you can out it, actually, without Underworld Goddess, would be something like the Primeval Planet Perlarino, that boosts the attack of Lulu Carols by 500, and then Abyss Dweller with a water material underneath. That way, your Lulu Carols has exactly 4,000, and you can crash on the on the Arrival Cerberus. So it is one way to out it, but if you're playing Underworld Goddess, then you're obviously way more prepared. And the BLS Link is also a card that is very annoying to out, so Underworld Goddess can also take care of the BLS Link. Yes, I know, it's not a joke. But yeah, this deck, I think, is going to appeal to a lot of players, because it kind of has that mid-range appeal. It's not a combo deck, it's not a deck that really loses that hard to, like, you know, blowouts and stuff like that. It can play Shifter, so going second, you can feel pretty comfortable against a bunch of decks. I like the fact that Shifter is semi-limited in the OCG, so that you have to rely a little less on it. And semi-limiting cards, I think, is actually really cool for the game, because it doesn't become like a Saki one-of, but at the same time, you see it a little less in your opening hands to a point where, like, it kind of matters that it got semi-limited. In the OCG, they semi-limit cards very often, but in the TCG, that doesn't happen. And just in this picture, you can see this happening, like, 3 times, actually. So Desires is a 2 in the OCG, and in the TCG as well. Prosperity is a 2, and Call by the Grave is a 2. And then D-Shifter is a 2. Now, I think Crossout Designator in the OCG just shouldn't exist because of Maxi, whereas in the TCG it's funny because it's a 3 and nobody plays it. So again, huge differences just because of one card. And I believe the Terraforming should actually get banned. Yeah, just searching field spells. Like, field spells are just so much better than they used to be, so I don't know, like, I think this card is kind of like always a no-brainer in like everyone's strategy. And because of triple tactic tasking, you can indirectly search field spells now. So it also changed. Like, it used to just be like a random one-of unsearchable that searches a field spell. Now it's a one-of that is searchable, that searches a searchable card, that searches a search card. I definitely didn't plan that. Anyways, the rest of the extra deck, blah, 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 who cares? Oh, no, sorry. One very relevant thing. Have you noticed something with the monster lineup? Because I have. There's no Ogre. I really like that. I've been saying that in my deck profile and combo video, as I know for a fact that the optimal list for this deck will not play Ogre, but I didn't know, like, anything else. So obviously, Ogre should not really be played. All it does is search the trap card, and the trap card is not really that good. But I definitely do understand the argument for playing one copy, because I believe it summons a monster that is, like, underneath the Shangri-La or something, or the Arise Heart. So it definitely allows you to make, like, an extra interruption, which is good. It's just not, like, insane or anything. And for the rest of... Okay, well, I mean, we have 3 more... Oh my... A bunch of hand traps, because this deck already plays a bunch. Like 2, 3, 8, 11, and then 14, 17 hand traps in total, if you include the side deck. And then, like, you know, the Fenrir and Unicorn are pretty good cards going second. And the deck has a lot of one-card starters. I mean, the field spells, Papillas plus anything. Birth is like a Monster Reborn. And then a bunch of draw and consistency cards. If you play this deck, there's pretty much no way you brick. So, again, if you don't like Tearlaments, I really, really recommend looking into this deck. Very good investment for the future. But I can 100% imagine that in the TCG, we're going to be seeing this deck be played a little more combo-oriented instead of mid-range oriented as we're seeing here. So maybe people might be playing more normal summons in the deck, like cards that become like 1-card level 7 monsters, so that you can spam Diablosis and just like pop off even more. Whereas in this deck, the main concern is really just like try to not lose to Nibiru and Maxi, because you shouldn't lose to those cards if you're playing this deck, because, you know, like, just ending on, like, Fenrir and, like, Shifter and a Hatchap is, like, already very good. And yeah, for the side deck, I mean, Royal Decree is really interesting. Again, Mind Control in absolutely everyone's side deck. The card's broken. I keep saying that stealing your opponent's Shangri-La or a Rise Art is really, really nice. And then D-Fisher on top of the Shifter. Only a 1-of, though. Very interesting. It's not like it was searchable. And then 3D Barrier. One thing that I actually noticed, people seem to drop the triple tactic tasking. I do believe that people were playing it before. Yeah, 1 in the side, and then 1 in the side over here, and none in the main deck, and that's pretty much it. No more Appointer of the Red Lotus as well. No more Bistan monsters. Wow, very incredible. Okay. I mean, this kind of does shock me, I'm not gonna lie, but I do understand the argument, I guess. And finally, in conclusion, some people even try to, like, tech in some interesting cards. Metal Morph I really don't understand, but Mushroom Man 2 is a card that you kind of just give to your opponent, and that's pretty much all it does. But the cool thing about Mushroom Man 2 is that if your opponent controls a monster, you can no longer summon the Kashtira monsters. So, like, these cards pretty much become brick, unless your opponent has, like, Birth and a Kashtira card. But, I mean, it's kind of like a one-trick pony. You do that once, it's very gimmicky, you do that once, and then people become, like, aware of it, and they can start deck building to beat that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.